Hey, it's been a while. So, I started playing Throne of Liberty recently. Going into it, seeing a common theme that everyone says that it's pay to win Korean MMO trash, that will be dead in 2 weeks. Me personally, I just don't see that at all. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is the character creation. I've seen many people say that the character creation is bad because of too much customization, and to me that makes absolutely no sense. You're upset because you have freedom to customize almost as much as you would like. The only limiting factors I really see are hair and body options, but other than that could be due to armor and gearing reasons for all I know. I mean, I'm not going to make any excuses for the game, but in my eyes, as someone who likes to sit there for 3 hours just to make one character, it's really good and even simple enough for people who don't want to sit there for 3 hours and just play the game. And on top of that, you can just go back later and change the appearance, but I can't imagine that's free at all, so to be honest, you get a check from me. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is leveling. And I'm not on my knees or anything here, but I actually love the leveling experience. Like, I actually feel like a main character and not a level 1 crook fighting trash mobs, you know what I mean? Like, I feel powerful when I should, and I feel outmatched when I should, you know what I mean? And I honestly think that it's handled pretty well from start to finish. And yeah, it's MMO, so you have your quest grinding every now and then, but that's what MMOs are all about, right? Well, minus the raids and the community, but you know, in my eyes, the leveling gets a check. But the gear progression honestly was a little confusing at first. It's not your regular gear progression. Well, from what I've seen so far, it's not your regular gear progression. I think the crafting is probably the main focal point of gear progression in this game. Other than that, it gets a check for me. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You can get it out the way. Now, the story, I mean, I don't think anyone's really here for the story, right? To me, it kind of seems like a generic story and all over the place, but I don't think many people even care about it, and they just want to play it. You know, it's not something like Final Fantasy with years and years of plot and story to continue from and go forward with. You know, it just gets a meh for me, you know? Now, let's talk about the community. In my eyes, in what I've experienced, the community is actually pretty helpful and nice, and actually seem to enjoy playing the game no matter what they're doing, really. But that's just based off the people that I've interacted and played with. I even joined a guild and played with them for a day just to see how it is to not play solo, because me personally, I enjoy playing games like this solo. But, you know, it was pretty enjoyable. Now, the PvP side, I mean, do I even have to tell you? It's competitive. You know what I'm trying to say. You've been on the internet long enough, alright? Community gets an A-OK for me. Now, my favorite part of this game by a long shot is the looks, the environment, the immersion. It's so great in my eyes. I don't know, like, it feels like I'm playing in a movie and like I'm in the world all at once. All the colors just work together. Everything's so vibrant, and I'm not Picasso, so I can't really explain much more into detail. But other than that, I don't know, like, do you see how good this looks? Maybe I'm tripping, but like, this looks amazing to me. Like, now you console players, I genuinely feel so bad for you, because if you don't have like a fidelity mode or something, like, you just won't ever understand, because like, this is genuinely like amazing looking playing at max settings. Like, oh my god, playing this at max settings is actually crazy. Like I have like a really good computer, and like, I'm not even getting like, I'm getting over 60. I'm like hovering around the 100 area at max settings when I'm like in combat, and it's like, dude, it is a really nice looking game, and I don't think that's like anything anybody can take away from it. All right, it gets no, my bad, it gets an S. It gets an S for me. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is the combat. This is one of the two things that a lot of people complain about. They say the combat's clunky. Me personally, I play bow and staff right now, and I don't feel any type of clunkiness or whatever. Maybe it's the weapons that matter. I could see a crossbow being clunky, maybe. And if you're using any sword and you're complaining about clunkiness, like, come on now, it's a sword. Especially if you're using a great sword. Oh my god, if you're using a great sword and you're complaining about clunkiness, you're actually trying to find something to complain about. Like, seriously. Alright. Combat in my eyes, amazing. Like I said, the game looks good. All the skills look good. That's what got me to play this game, was the look of the skills and like the look of gear. Like the end game gear, at least, like, it looks good, right? I feel powerful when I'm playing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I have to play 50 hours before feeling strong. You know what I mean? Like, I felt strong from the get-go, and that's what you want in a fantasy MMO, a fantasy game, period. You want to feel like the strongest at all times, right? Like, I don't think anybody can disagree with that. So it gets an A-okay from me. Now this part, unscripted. I'm just gonna talk. All right, the monetization. Let's talk about it. Everybody, all the reviewers, all the complainers. Okay. Now I'm going to get this out the way. If you are a PvP player, you have all right in the world to complain about pay to win. All right. Now that I've addressed the PvP players and they liked the video and left a comment and said, yeah, you get it. Now on to you PvE players. If you are a PvE player and you are complaining about pay to win, I don't know if I'm simple-minded. I don't know if I'm just a good guy in a bad guy world. But if you are complaining about pay to win in a PvE game where other players help you finish a common goal, aka a dungeon or a raid, and you're complaining because somebody else paid money to get stronger to be able to beat that same goal you're trying to beat, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You're not gonna complain when that guy that spent $30,000 on his character is your tank and he's just standing there in front of all the piss puddles, just taking all the damage up, and he's 100% health the whole time, and he just souls the raid for you. You're not gonna complain. You're not. And if you don't ever run into a pay to win player, why are you complaining? It doesn't even affect you at this point. It literally doesn't. You haven't even experienced the problem, you're complaining about it. And the thing is, the crazy thing is that I don't understand is that people are gonna say, yeah, it's so pay to win. Like 50% of the player base is dropping $30,000 on their character. It's not happening. It's not. It's literally not. There's gonna be a small 5 to 10% of people that are probably going to end up spending even like over $1,000 on their character. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It literally doesn't. It doesn't at all. It doesn't. I don't understand why like people complain about pay to win so much. Like I said, maybe I'm simple-minded and I haven't been long. I said unscripted, and maybe I haven't been around long enough to understand the pay to win like argument here. But as a new person coming in, it simply doesn't make sense to me. And that's all I have to say about the monetization. That's it. All right, so for just a quick rundown of everything I went over today, character creation, love it. Environment, love it. Leveling, love it. I feel like the main character is actually pretty good. Story, whatever. Community, love it. Monetization, I just don't understand. I don't understand the problem at all. Like I said, maybe somebody else can explain it to me, but it just never will make sense to me, I guess. But other than that, man, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you on the next one, and peace out.